My high school bully publicly tried to ruin my Ivy League future, so I exposed his rich dad's abuse and shut them both down. 3 months later, he knocked on my door, begging me to save him. I was 7 when my immigrant parents broke their backs to get me into a private school. My mom scrubbed homes for years, and my dad delivered food around the clock, sleeping 4 hours a day, all because they believed in me and wanted me to have the opportunities they never did. I loved them more than life, but there was always one thing preventing me from feeling like I belonged, and it was where I was from. We had just moved from Pakistan, and my accent stuck to me like a shadow. At school, kids would ask me to say words, not because they were curious, but because they wanted to laugh. Say refrigerator again, they'd snicker. Say library. I told my parents it was fine, that I was adjusting. I could see their hearts breaking. My dad would kiss the top of my head and say, "Your voice will go further than their laughter ever could." And he was right, because by 8th grade, I had studied so hard I was tutoring half my class. By 10th grade, I was designing lesson plans for my school's ESL program. I built a name for myself. The teachers adored me. Even some students who used to laugh at me did too. But then came junior year, and the new kid Bryce. He walked in with a Rolex, a known last name, and a sense of entitlement that showed he had never once heard the word no. On his first day, he raised his hand in biology and said, "Can I partner with Miss India over there?" Loud enough for everyone to hear, loud enough to make me feel like I was 7 again. But he never got in trouble for it. His dad had donated a new gym scoreboard to get him out of it, and this became a pattern. Bryce would humiliate me, and his dad would throw money at the school to get him off the hook. As you can tell, Bryce loved to torment me. He left bacon in my locker, would fake yawn whenever I spoke in class, say, "Your English is giving me jet lag." The worst part was he never said my name. Instead, he'd call me Chutney Girl, Taliban Barbie, and so on. One day during class, Bryce whispered to our row, "Here comes ISIS 2.0, when the teacher called on me and no one said anything. Not even the people I thought were my friends. Still, I kept showing up, kept getting straight A's, kept finding the people who saw past the hijab and the accent and the name. I think the main reason Bryce hated me was because I was smarter, that no matter how many times he smirked or sneered, he couldn't beat me in grades. And by senior year, it was official. I was valedictorian, and he came in second. His locker got slammed so hard that day, it broke. A week later, I was in a meeting with our principal, who said it was tradition for the runner-up to introduce the valedictorian at graduation. Bryce would be introducing me. I nearly laughed. The principal said he knew about our history and could have someone else introduce me instead. I just smiled and said, "He deserves that spotlight. Let him speak." He was told to write a speech celebrating me, my accomplishments, my character, my name, which, by the way, he still couldn't pronounce. He practiced for weeks. I heard him in the hallway muttering, "Maha, Mahera, Mahira." The night before, my parents ironed my gown and sewed Quran verses into the hem, my dad polishing my medal like it was made of gold, and my mom whispered, "Whatever happens tomorrow, you've already won." The day of graduation came, and my parents were in the front row. My mom wore her best hijab, navy blue with gold trim. My dad had on the same suit he wore when he got his U.S. citizenship. Bryce took the stage, stumbled on my name twice, then forced it out through gritted teeth. The brilliant Mahera. Perfect pronunciation. I walked across the stage, took the mic, and said, "Bryce, thank you for that introduction. I know public speaking is hard, especially when it's not about you." And the crowd laughed. I spoke about resilience, about names, about how pronunciation isn't hard, it just takes respect, and how some kids get trophies for showing up, while others get punished for daring to exist too loudly. I'm here not just because I studied hard, but because my parents believed in me more than the world doubted me. The applause was louder than I'd ever heard it, until Bryce rushed back to the mic and shouted, "I think everyone should know